This is what the Carolina Panthers need to do in the 2023 NFL Draft. Ryan Wilson, Rick Spielman from With the First Pick podcast here to provide an ultimate mock draft for the team with the number one pick. All right, Rick, let's jump into the NFL mock draft database simulator. So clearly Carolina had his number one pick. Rick, you and I both like C.J. Stroud, but we love Bryce Young. I'll let you make this first pick. If you're the Carolina Panthers, who are you taking?
Bryce Young. No questions asked.
Debo, run the card up. We're taking Bryce Young here. The old mock draft simulator is going to do its thing because we'll run through this pick and get us back on the clock. So you're taking Bryce Young, even though he's undersized. You don't care about that at all, Rick?
Especially in the NFC South. Playing in warm weather, playing in indoors. So this is a no-brainer for me. Great setup for him to have success. Not only what he does on the field, but playing in the division that he would be playing in.
So the Panthers are back on the clock. They have the 39th pick, and they have a ton of trade offers.
Wow.
If you're picking 39, you're the Carolina Panthers. You have a ton of needs. So I'll look through these quickly. The Patriots want to give you their 46th and 2 4th-rounders and a 6th-rounder, and I don't want that one. What else we got, Debo? Oh boy. So let's entertain this one.
Yeah, you're falling too far down now.
But wait a second though. So the Chiefs are now asking to give, they want that 39th pick, but they'll give you this year's 4th, this year's 5th, a 2024 2nd, a 2024 3rd, and a 2024 5th.
Yeah, that's unrealistic.
All right, reject it.
I would have taken the first one.
All right. Well, what about this one? The Bears want to give you the 2nd-round pick and 53, the 53rd pick, the 2nd-round pick at 64.
Taking that one right now. I'm getting 2 2nd-round picks and then throwing in all the other cherries on top. I'm taking that.
All right, Debo, do you want to take it, or are we just entertaining these? Oh, we took it. Debo didn't mess around. He clicked the button before he had a chance to change your mind, Rick. All right, we're back on the clock here at 2:53. So let's reject this so we can make a pick here, Debo. So with the 53rd pick, and we already have our quarterback. What are some other needs that we have if you're the Carolina Panthers? Well, cornerback, wide receiver, edge rusher, offensive guard, safety, linebacker. Speaking of linebacker, Drew Sanders is there, excuse me. Let's see who some of the cornerbacks are, Debo. So DJ Turner. So they had to run on cornerback. So we moved down and lost out on the cornerbacks. Clark Phillips out of Utah.
No,
Darius,
we're not getting into this area.
No. So that's
early for these guys.
All right. How about wide receiver, Debo? Let's see what's going on at wide receiver. Oh, my gosh. I had to run on wide receivers, too. I can't believe you traded down Rick. Cedric Tillman, Marvin Mims, who I love. He's undersized. Tyler Scott out of Cincinnati. Is that too rich at middle of the –
Not taking him either. I just signed Clark and I just signed Thielen. I know he's an explosive speed guy, but he's a little raw as a route runner, and he needs to learn how to catch below his waist.
All right, let's try edge rusher, Debo, because Brian Burns' contract's going to be up. He's going to want to get paid. So Tommy Adebawore is there. Derek Hall is there, who we've talked about from Auburn. Andre Carter, who is an upside guy. Zach Harrison looks the part, a little stiff at times. Byron Young out of Tennessee, older, but I like his.
Too far down our board to pick any of these guys.
Gosh. All right, give us the overall board, Debo, because Rick's got us in a pickle here. I think we go with Drew Sanders. We have a linebacker. We have a linebacker need.
Yeah, turn in the card.
All right,
turn in the card.
We got ourselves in a pickle on that one.
No, we didn't.
All right, let's reject this. I want to make these picks, Debo. I'm the owner, and Brick's the GM. Okay, so we need some. I have some needs off interior offensive line, a guard in particular. So John Michael Schmitz is on the board. Let's see what else we have here. Who else we got? Luke Whippler. The Chandler Zavala is going to be interesting. He's at NC State. We haven't talked a ton about him, but he is going to get drafted. Didn't get a combine invite, which is one of those peculiarities we'll certainly talk about. So let's see. They have Bradley Bozeman at center, but not much depth behind him. In terms of the guard position, hit the guard button, Debo. Interior offensive line.
It's the same thing, guard center, except Whippler's a center only. John Michael Schmitz can possibly be guard center.
Do you want to take him here at 64, John Michael Schmitz?
Yeah, I like him.
All right, let's do it. All right, next up. So you mentioned John Michael Schmitz able to play guard. Why do you say that based on the fact that he's been better at center?
He's been at center, but I think he's big enough and strong enough and athletic enough to do guard. I think he could be a multi-position player in line where Whippler is, to me, a center only. He's just small. So I see him as a center only, where John Michael Schmitz can give you some flexibility, gives you the opportunity to go to camp, pick your best 5 starters, and I bet by the time camp comes at the end of camp, this guy's going to be starting at either center or guard.
All right, we're back on the clock here in the 3rd round, and Gervon Dexter is staring us in the face. Marvin Mims is staring us in the face. You mentioned that they filled some of the needs at wide receiver with Adam Thielen. They have DJ Shark, but there's not a lot behind them, and I don't know.
You know what I'm going to lean towards here?
What?
I'm going to lean towards Mims, because Adam Thielen's probably a short-term solution.
Yeah.
DJ Chark is a vertical threat, but I don't think they signed him to a multi-gazillion-dollar deal. So I'm going to go with a guy that has some traits. I'm not saying he's DJ Moore, but some similar traits at slot, some playmaking ability. So Marvin Mims will be a good fit for me here.
Love it. That is a good pick. You're pretty good at this, Rick. All right, next up will be pick 103. So to recap, we got Bryce Young, Drew Sanders, John Michael Schmitz, and Marvin Mims. Now at 103, we're back on the clock. And what do we have at edge rusher, Debo? Oh, Andre Carter's sitting there. Andre Carter at 103 feels like you're getting into the range where you're starting to level out. So you have Byron. You want him? You want to entertain Byron Young or Zach Harrison?
I think that Andre Carter has more upside.
Okay.
He's almost built similarly, not as good a player when he came out of Florida State, but that long linear Brian Burns type.
Yeah. Yep.
And you have time for him to develop as a pass rusher. Burns, I think they have 3 or 4 edge rushers. Let me just check here coming out. You got Burns coming up out of contract. You got Gross Mattis coming out. Marcus Haynes coming out after the season. So take a guy that you have a chance to develop, get him some play time this year, but he has tremendous upside. So I would take Carter. That's the reasons why.
All right. Those are good reasons. All right. Next up, what's the next pick, Debo? What round are we going to be? 114. Oh, because we made this trade here. You can reject that trade. So 114, we're back on the clock. Zach Harrison's still there. My guy, Blake Freeland. Oh, my gosh. Wait a second. There's no way that Quay Martin's still on the board. I think no matter what.
Stop.
So Tartavius Martin, the Nick/safety out of Illinois, played alongside Devin Witherspoon. Really good football player.
I would have taken him before I would have taken Andre Carter.
Yeah, and maybe Marvin Mims or no?
Maybe Marvin Mims. Yeah, he's too good of a football player.
All right,
so
Carl Brooks is
great value here.
Carl Brooks is still there. You're okay passing on Carl Brooks?
Yes.
Okay.
Gosh, you're talking about Quay Martin. You like Quay Martin.
Love Quay Martin, but I'm asking you.
Why would you take him?
I would take him, but I'm asking you for the sake of conversation. You got to talk about these things. You can't just be a dictator, Rick.
Yeah, draft day. It's Quay Martin's card is sticking out on our board like a sore thumb.
Okay, so we're back on the clock. And what pick is this, Debo? I'm sorry to keep asking this. We're at pick 132. Kayshon Bouttie's still there. You're not taking Kayshon Boutte, are you? No. All right, we're starting to fill a bunch of needs here. Some other needs that we may have for Carolina. Tight end. Where are we at the tight ends? Just hit the tight end button, Debo. See what we have there.
They did Hayden Hurst. So that's who they signed, kid from Cincinnati.
But you have guys like Will Mallory, Schoonmaker still on the board, Payne Durham, who maybe we can get in a few more rounds later if we don't get a tight end here. Any of these guys worth going? Or is it
they still have some. They got Tommy Tremble.
Okay.
Drafted in the 3rd round. Ian Thompson.
Well, let me ask you this. We've made 6 picks here, and we're starting to fill needs. What are you thinking about once you get into day 3?
Best available players now.
All right, hit the all button, Debo, and let's see what Rick likes best available.
We're going best available.
So Jacqueline Roy, the interior defensive lineman out of LSU, he has some playmaking ability. Israel, I can't pronounce the last name. The running back out of Pitt is a good player. Overshawn, the linebacker out of Texas we just talked about, but we took Drew Sanders. So are you going to double up like the Jaguars did and just keep taking linebackers last year in the draft?
You know what? I really, really liked Overshown.
All right, I mentioned Overshown, and one more name I just saw, Jacorian Bennett is still available, the outside corner that played opposite Deontay Banks at Maryland.
Who's I have at corners here? You got Jason Horn. You have Dante Jackson. They could use a corner. Let's go with the corner.
All right, let's take Bennett. Played opposite Deontay Banks at Maryland, a really good player, and he may go sooner than this. We're now to pick 145, and we're doing best available. Just stop there, Debo, because best available, we'll see. Rick hasn't talked about this guy in a while, which is interesting. Xavier Hutchinson, wide receiver, Iowa State.
Yeah, I kind of like lost my luster for him.
Wanya Morris is still on the board. We saw him at the Senior Bowl. He had a good week, an athletic offensive lineman.
Tackle that has left tackle feet.
Emil Ekiyor still on the board. Your guy from Alabama who can play interior positions along the offensive line.
I already took John Michael Schmitz. So
okay.
Is there any other? Let's go with Wayne Morris.
Wanya Morris it is. Oklahoma.
Yep.
Got lost in Anton Harrison's shadow, but a really good player. And we're coming down the home stretch here. Now we are to pick 148. Best available. So let's see. Kendra Miller, running back out of TCU.
Yeah. Can you slide up a little bit, Debo?
So the top is still Jacqueline Roy, the interior defensive lineman out of LSU. We don't have any defensive linemen. We haven't drafted any. Hit the defensive line button, Debo. I want to see who else is available.
I want to go if there's any interior defensive lineman we like here.
So Moro Ojomo is getting a little buzz. He doesn't. I'd like him to be a little bit more
excited. Didn't excite me on tape.
Yeah, Mike Morris,
limited athlete.
Yeah, I think Mike Morris falls in that category. Gerard Clark is too early for him. 340 out of Coastal Carolina, nose tackle.
He would be a good guy. Hometown kind of hero coming out of Coastal Carolina.
We can wait on him.
And he has some upside to develop. And he's
wait a second. Wait a second. Stay right there, Debo. There's a name. Broderick Martin out of Western Kentucky, Rick.
Oh, I am going to go with the Coastal Carolina kid first. That was okay. I'm keeping that guy in my back pocket.
Okay. All right. Take Gerard Clark, 340 nose tackle out of Coastal Carolina. All right. He's drafted. Now we have one more pick. Our last pick at 218. Let's see if Broderick Martin's still there. If we want to get best available despite the position, and we'll see what happens here. So how do you feel about this draft so far, Rick, what we've done?
I think we're getting really good grades from whatever from Debo. Debo's putting in these A's, A pluses on everyone we're picking. He is amazing.
Got a C+ on Gerard Clark. I think we took him too early according to the mock draft simulator.
Well, Debo didn't see him, so he doesn't know.
I don't think Debo's doing the grades. I think the computer's doing the grades. But we can blame Debo.
I don't like him.
All right, so this is our last pick. Tell me again what pick it is, Debo. Sorry, let's see what pick it is. It's pick 218. All right, so this is the last pick of our mock draft here. Clayton Tune.
No, I don't think we would take quarterback. Although I'm a Hainer fan a little bit, but you know, I drafted whatchamacallit last year. I just drafted a #1 quarterback.
Yeah, Matt Corral.
I got Andy Dalton, but that's a stopgap. I got Matt Corral, who we drafted last year. So if you draft a quarterback, you plan on putting him on practice squad more than likely.
So Yeshivas is still there.
Stop. DJ Johnson, automatic, no brainer.
He loves DJ Johnson. Edge rusher out of Oregon. We talked about him on yesterday's podcast. On the Wednesday, April 12th podcast with Lee J. Doozable. So you can check that out in the feed to hear Rick talk up his guy DJ Johnson. So that's our mock draft. I think if I'm giving us a grade, Rick, that's an A. If we get these, if they come out with these picks.
Yeah, no, but it's what Pete thinks. Would Pete give us an A? But Pete don't know the draft.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter. Debo gives us an A. So that's it. That's a wrap. Our draft is complete.
I'm happy. If I'm Carolina Panthers, I'm high-fiving all the way to the rookie mini camp the following weekend.
All right. That's the Ultimate Panthers mock draft brought to you by Rick Spielman, general manager, and some dude with the first pick. Thanks for watching.